Gulf County Sheriff's investigators are releasing more details about a murder-suicide that happened on Monday in the Stone Mill Creek community. They said the medical examiner's preliminary report confirms their initial investigation that a man shot his wife and then killed himself. They also identified the couple as Lorelei Strickland and Jarrott Strickland. About 12:30 Monday afternoon, an employer reported that one of the Stricklands had not come to work and asked deputies to conduct a welfare check. They said no one answered the door at the couple's home on Stone Creek Mill Road, and there were no signs of foul play. While they were checking other locations, family and friends entered the home, discovered the Stricklands' bodies in one of the bedrooms. Authorities said it appears they had been dead for some time. Again, at this point, they are calling it murder-suicide, but the investigation is still underway.
3 days before she died, Lorelei Strickland posted something on Facebook. It wasn't anything dramatic. It wasn't a cry for help. It wasn't a goodbye. It was this: I absolutely love my job. So thankful for all the customers and coworkers that make me feel loved. April 3rd, 2026. 3 days later, she didn't show up for work. Her worried coworkers called the Gulf County Sheriff's Office and requested a welfare check. Deputies responded to the home on Stone Mill Creek Road in Wewahitchka, Florida. No one answered the door. No signs of foul play. So they kept looking. They checked other locations. They went back to her workplace to gather more information. And while they were doing that, her family and friends went to the house. They got inside. And in one of the bedrooms, they found her. Lorelei Strickland, 40 years old, dead. Beside her, her husband, Jarrott Strickland, 44 years old, also dead. The Gulf County Sheriff's Office confirmed what investigators and the medical examiner's office had already concluded. Jarrott Strickland had shot his wife and then turned the gun on himself. They had been dead, the sheriff's office said, for some time. A woman who posted 3 days earlier about how much she loved her life was gone. And the questions that followed were the kind that never fully get answered. What happened in that home on Stone Mill Creek Road? What happened between April 3rd and April 6th? What did Lorelei's final days look like? Tonight on Midnight Case Files, we are going to Wewahitchka, Florida. And we are telling Lorelei Strickland's story. All of it. Lorelei Elizabeth Strickland was 40 years old. She lived with her husband Jarrott in the Stone Mill Creek community, a quiet, close-knit neighborhood just north of Wewahitchka in Gulf County, Florida. Gulf County is a small, tight community, the kind of place where everybody knows everybody, where news travels fast, where a tragedy like this doesn't just shake a family, it shakes an entire town. And Lorelei was the kind of person this community felt deeply. Her coworkers, the people who saw her every single day, said it best in the GoFundMe they set up in her name, titled Honoring Lorelei's Beautiful Spirit. They wrote, "It is with heavy hearts that we share the unexpected passing of our sweet Lorelei, who meant so much to all of us. She was more than just a coworker, she was family. A light in our workplace, a friend in our community, and a deeply loved member of her family. Her kindness, laughter, and genuine spirit touched everyone she met, and her absence has left a space that can never truly be filled. A space that can never truly be filled." And in a separate statement, another coworker wrote, "If you had the privilege of knowing her, you know how special she was, the way she could brighten a room with her smile, offer a listening ear without hesitation, and make everyone feel seen and valued." Her sister had this to say on social media, Lorelei Elizabeth Strickland, "You always loved a Hobby Lobby, TJ Maxx, Dunkin' Day. You would have told me to send all the pink bow stuff to Bailey, and I needed all the blue bows. This is our chance to give back to someone who gave so much of themselves to others. Someone who gave so much of herself. Who made people feel seen and valued. Who loved her job so much she posted about it on a Friday, just 3 days before she was gone. And then she never came back to that job. She never walked back through those doors. She never sent another message to the people who loved her." Lorelei Strickland was 40 years old. She had her whole life ahead of her. If Lorelei's story is hitting you hard right now, and it should hit that subscribe button so you never miss a case like this on Midnight Case Files. And drop a comment below. What do you think about cases like this one where the investigation leaves so many questions unanswered? Tell me. Let's walk through what we know about April 6, 2026. Monday afternoon. At approximately 12:30 p.m., dispatchers at the Gulf County Sheriff's Office received a call. An employer was concerned. One of their employees, Lorelei Strickland, had not come in for work that day. No call. No message. Nothing. For a woman who posted 3 days earlier about how much she loved her job and her coworkers, that silence was deafening. The caller requested a welfare check. Deputies from the Gulf County Sheriff's Office responded first to the workplace to gather more information about where Lorelei might be. Then they drove to her last known address, the home on Stone Mill Creek Road. They knocked. No answer. They walked around the property. According to the Gulf County Sheriff's Office, no immediate signs of foul play were observed. So deputies continued checking other locations where Lorelei was known to spend time. Meanwhile, family and friends had grown worried too. They went to the house. They were able to get inside. And inside one of the bedrooms, they found what no family member should ever have to find. Lorelei and Jarrott Strickland. Both dead. Both with gunshot wounds. As WMBB News 13 reported, the sheriff's office confirmed it appeared the couple had been deceased for some time before they were discovered. The Gulf County Sheriff's Office released an official statement confirming the findings of both their investigators and the medical examiner's office. No signs of forced entry were noted. Initial findings from investigators and the medical examiner's office indicate that Mr. Strickland shot his wife and then turned the gun on himself. Gulf County Sheriff Mike Harrison confirmed the investigation remained active and ongoing, with detectives continuing to process the scene and speak with neighbors and family members to understand the circumstances leading up to the tragedy. As of this recording, no motive has been publicly confirmed. No prior domestic violence calls to that address have been reported in the public record. No details about what may have happened in the days between Lorelei's cheerful Facebook post on April 3rd and her death on April 6th have been released. That silence, that gap of 3 days, is perhaps the most haunting part of this entire story. What happened inside that home? What did those 3 days look like? We may never fully know. I want to spend some time here because cases like this one raise questions that go far beyond one couple in one county in Florida. Murder-suicides involving intimate partners are among the most devastating and most preventable forms of violence in America. According to research from the Violence Policy Center, the vast majority of murder-suicide cases in the United States involve a man killing a female intimate partner before taking his own life. These cases share a troubling pattern. Often, there are no public warning signs. Often, the people closest to the victim describe the relationship as loving, devoted, normal. And yet, something happens. Something that builds or breaks or snaps behind closed doors. Away from coworkers who see only the smile. Away from the Facebook posts. Away from the community that knew them as a devoted couple. In Lorelei's case, just 3 days before she was killed, she was expressing gratitude for her life, for her job, for her people, for how loved she felt. And that is what makes this case so deeply, deeply unsettling. Because if someone that happy, that connected, that surrounded by people who loved her could be taken like this, then what does that tell us about what happens behind the doors we never get to see? I'm not here to speculate about what was happening inside the Strickland home. We don't have those answers. The investigation is ongoing. And we owe both Lorelei and the truth the decency of not filling in gaps with assumptions. But what I will say is this. If you are in a relationship that sometimes doesn't feel safe, if there are moments of control, fear, or isolation that you haven't told anyone about, please tell someone. Please reach out. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The number is 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. You can also text START to 88788. Your life is worth more than silence. Cases like Lorelei's, where the questions outnumber the answers, are the ones that stay with you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what do you think needs to change in how we identify and prevent domestic violence before it reaches this point? I want to hear your thoughts. And please share this video. Lorelai's story deserves to be heard.
The Gulf County Sheriff's Office is releasing new details in a deadly murder-suicide from Monday afternoon.
Dispatch got a call around 12:30 after an employee didn't show up for work, prompting a welfare check.
Deputies gathered information at the workplace and began searching, first going to the person's home. No one answered the door, and there were no immediate signs of trouble.
After checking other locations with no luck, family and friends later went inside the home where they found Lorelei Strickland and her husband Jarrott Strickland dead inside a bedroom.
Investigators say the couple had likely been dead for some time. Both had gunshot wounds and there were no signs of forced entry.
Preliminary findings indicate Jarrott Strickland shot his wife before taking his own life. The investigation remains active.
In the days following the discovery, the Gulf County community did what small communities do. They showed up for Lorelei. Her coworkers launched a GoFundMe campaign to help cover funeral expenses and support her family. They called it beautifully, honoring Lorelei's beautiful spirit. And the words they used to describe her tell you everything you need to know about the kind of woman Gulf County lost that day. They described her as a light, as family, as someone whose absence leaves a space that can never truly be filled. As Oxygen.com reported, Lorelei's coworkers called her death a heartbreaking loss. And in their own words, her kindness, her laughter, her genuine spirit touched everyone she met. Gulf County is a small place, a community where people look out for each other. And the loss of Lorelei Strickland, a woman who brightened every room she walked into, who made everyone feel seen and valued, is one this community will feel for a long time. Because Lorelei wasn't just a name in a news report. She was someone's coworker, someone's friend, someone's family. She was someone who loved her life and said so, just days before it was taken. Here is where things stand as of today. The Gulf County Sheriff's Office has confirmed this case is being investigated as a murder-suicide. The medical examiner's office has confirmed that Jarrott Strickland, 44, shot his wife Lorelei Strickland, 40, before turning the gun on himself. Both were found in a bedroom of their home on Stone Mill Creek Road in Wewahitchka. They appear to have been deceased for some time before they were discovered. Sheriff Mike Harrison confirmed no signs of forced entry were noted at the scene. The investigation remains active and ongoing. No further details about motive or circumstances have been publicly released. We will continue to follow this case. And if new information emerges, if the investigation brings answers to the questions that remain unanswered, we will bring those updates to you here on Midnight Case Files. For Lorelei Elizabeth Strickland, 40 years old, Wewahitchka, Florida. A woman who loved her job, who made her coworkers feel like family, who brightened every room she entered, who made everyone around her feel seen and valued. She posted about gratitude on a Friday. She was gone by Monday. That is not how her story should have ended. She deserved more Mondays, more mornings, more smiles, more of the life she clearly loved. This has been Midnight Case Files. If this story moved you, please share it. Say her name, Lorelei Strickland. And if you know someone who might be in danger, please reach out to them. Check on your people. The National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. Available 24/7. Subscribe to Midnight Case Files, and I will see you in the next case. Rest easy, Lorelei.